Memorable series moment. Lions 45, Steelers 3. November 24, 1983, at the Silverdome, Pontiac, Michigan. The last time the Steelers went to Detroit for a game that didn't include a team with a losing record, the 1970s crashed down on the black and gold. The Steelers went into this Thanksgiving Day game with a 9-3 record against the 6-6 Lions. Kevin Colbert was still coaching running backs at Ohio Wesleyan, and future Steelers scout and Calvin Johnson father-in-law, Bruce McNorton, was playing cornerback for the Lions. McNorton had 2 of the 5 interceptions served up by Cliff Stout and Mark Malone in this drubbing. The Steelers actually had a 3-0 lead, but Billy Sims scored 2 touchdowns, 106 yards rushing, and Eric Hipple threw 2 touchdown passes, and the rout was on. The Steelers won only one more game that season, the famed last start by Terry Bradshaw and his bum arm, which came 2 games after this one. Tale of the tape. One of the interesting developments of this whole process of going to Detroit is the possible matchup of 6'9" Brian Mihalik against 6' James Harrison. TJ Watt rolled his ankle in practice, so I don't know where he's going to be come game time, but you have to think, based on Eric Fisher, that Debo versus Mihalik might be a preferred matchup because the 6'9" Mihalik is made to order for the no-dip, just rip-turn style effect of Debo on the pass rush. James is fresh, has a bye week coming up after this, and as a reserve is anxious to play, so it would be a perfect time to release the Kraken and let him play a lot of snaps. Steelers radio analyst Craig Wolfley. Top question. The Lions are 26th in offense and 19th in defense. How do they threaten the Steelers? QB Matthew Stafford is capable of lighting it up. With 8 come-from-behind fourth-quarter wins last year, Stafford hasn't carried that magic over to this season, probably because he's been sacked 23 times. But as Ben Roethlisberger said, when asked how he would recommend his defense play against Stafford, stay back because he can throw the ball a long way. Stafford was the first pick of the 2009 NFL Draft and has a career passer rating of 86.9. 3 questions, with Og Ramon Foster. Q. Coming off 2 big AFC wins, the Steelers are ripe for the plucking by a mediocre NFC team. Will the fact it's a Sunday night primetime game help the team's motivation? RF. It means more than anything, and there are a lot of factors going into it. You've got primetime game, you also want to get a win going into the bye, and also you want to continue on that upward trajectory this season. This is going to be a really good test for us. Q. The Lions are 3-3. Is it a test because of your past history of letdowns? Or because they're a good team? RF. They're a good team. Their offense can score at will. Our defense has a challenge. We've got a challenge on offense because they have really good players too on defense. And they've got a special teams guy who's doing pretty well too. There are a lot more dynamics than what the lack of suspense of this game would appear to hold. Q. Is this like a carrot at the end of a stick for a team going into a bye week? RF. It would be, because you get that feel-good feeling going into the bye. You don't want to go in and have the coach's attitude change to where guys that need a break probably can't get it because there are corrections and this and this and that. You want to go into a week with things smoothed over, and hopefully coach gives you an extra day off. We're fighting and playing for a lot of different reasons. Definitely want to get a win. Game breakdown. What to look for from the Steelers on Sunday night in Detroit. On offense, the Steelers will again be without Marcus Gilbert, but Chris Hubbard is filled in admirably at right tackle. The loss of benched Martavis Bryant will no doubt be felt, even if he had been averaging more than 2.5 catches for 33 yards per game. He takes the top off the defense by keeping a safety deep, if only for his potential, and that has to help Le'Veon Bell. The run game will also suffer the loss of tight end Vance McDonald, who's become their best move blocker not named David DeCastro. Could be a passing game against the NFL's 22nd ranked pass defense, and those plans often go down in flames for Todd Haley. On defense, the Lions have allowed a 28th-ranked 23 sacks of Stafford, and with 2 left tackles hurt, Steelers cast-off Mihalik is expected to start there. Watt may have rolled his ankle at the last practice, but he said he's fine, and who wouldn't be against this tackle? The Lions don't scare anyone with Golden Tate as their best receiver, averaging only 10 yards per each of his 36 catches. Tight end Eric Ebron, the 10th pick of the 2014 draft, has been a disappointment and this season has only 13 catches and 1 touchdown. Running back Amir Abdullah, 5'8", 198, went over the 1,000-yard mark for his 3-year career in the last Lions game and averages 3.8 yards per carry. Prediction. Classic FLAT, Ulan's spot for the Steelers, who are 0-5 under Mike Tomlin when traveling to an NFC team after 2 AFC wins that includes a divisional win. On the other hand, the Steelers have been successful in games they should win before a bye. They're 6 for the week before a bye under Tomlin, with the losses coming against Baltimore without Roethlisberger, at Oakland in a September game, in London, and last year against New England. Those games had little to do with the reasons why this pre-bye game is a carrot at the end of the first half stick for a 5-2 team with eyes on a championship. None of those losses occurred in prime time either. Look for that to motivate them to a strong defensive performance. 26-17.